Okay, so I just want to quickly talk about the bills that Kathy Hochul signed into law. A bunch of gun laws that had a bunch of effects. They're calling it. They're pretending they're fixing harm, and they're really just further eroding New Yorkers' rights, and further infringing upon New Yorkers' rights, safety, endangering New Yorkers. It's absurd. But hey, let me talk about Let me actually give you specifically what these bills are. Banning the purchase or possession of semi-automatic rifles by those under 21. So you're raising the age. People in New York, if you're under 21 in New York, you can't own a gun. Like it's an arbitrary. It's just an absolutely arbitrary distinction, and it's like what. And somebody has to sue. I can't wait for kids to sue, young adults to sue, because it's like I'm an adult. How? What justification do you have to stop me from owning a gun? In fact, young adults need to sue against the alcohol prohibition as well. This is see, but it's this is what happens when you allow government to do something. It never stops. So people said, okay, we understand you putting restrictions on alcohol, and then they just keep going further and further. That's the point. Government never stops. And that's why the people saying, oh, nobody wants your guns. Clearly, they want people's guns. And clearly, they're going to keep going because they've already put, like, New York already has the most restrictive gun laws in the country, and they keep going. They keep going, and they're going to keep on going until somebody stops them. It says banning the sale of body armor to the general public and requiring a license to purchase so-called assault weapons. The uh, policies for social medias are now in place that they must monitor and respond to incidents of hateful conduct on their platform. They must require gun dealers to implement security plans for securing firearms. They must train their employees on the conduct of their products and be inspected by the state police every 3 years. Oh my God. It's just the draconian nonsense. It's just absurd. Uh, the fund also increased funding. 18.2 million has been secured to fund 17 participating counties across the state. That's part of the New York State's gun involved violence and elimination initiative. It also expands. There's a law that expands the list of people who can file red flag laws. So the extreme risk protection orders, and requires law enforcement to file extreme risk protection orders under specified set of circumstances. So, like, not only does it expand who can file these red flags on an individual, it mandates law enforcement to file red flags against people under certain conditions. So it includes healthcare practitioners who have examined an individual within the last 6 months. And it requires the state to look at mental health practitioners' reports on potentially harmful individuals when determining whether or not to issue a license. It requires police and district attorneys to file red flags when they acquire credible information that an individual is likely to engage in conduct that would result in serious harm. Requires state police and the municipal police to create and disseminate policies and procedures to identify when an extreme risk protection order may be warranted. Requires the Division of Criminal Justice to certify a decline to certify the micro-stamping enabled pistols are technologically viable, and if certified as viable, to establish programs and processes for the implementation of such technology. Micro-stamping is an Micro-stamping is an innovative ammunition marking technique that marks bullets in cartridge cases with a unique fingerprint each time a firearm is discharged. This allows investigators to link bullets and casings recovered at crime scenes to a specific gun and potentially other crimes. It expands the definition of firearm to include any weapon not defined in the penal law that is designed or may readily be converted to expel a projectile by action of an explosive. This is intended to capture firearms that have been modified to be shot from an arm brace, which are evading our current definitions of firearms and rifles. Eliminates the grandfathering of large capacity ammunition feeding devices that were lawfully possessed prior to the enactment of the SAFE Act or manufactured prior to 1994. Oh, so we don't want your guns, but now you're going after stuff that people own already, and it's no longer allowed by law. Like, they're full of shit. They're absolutely full of shit. Creates the crimes of making a threat of mass harm and aggravated making a threat of mass harm. Like, how is that not already a crime? Enhancing information sharing requires enhanced reporting by law enforcement to state and federal gun databases. Agencies must report seized or recovered guns to the Criminal Gun Clearinghouse. Law also requires gun dealers to enact uniform security and reporting standards. Requires social media networks to provide clear and concise policy regarding how they respond to incidents of hateful conduct on their platform and maintain easily accessible mechanisms for reporting hateful conduct on these platforms. Creates a new task force on social media and violent extremism. Housed in the Office of the Attorney General, the task force will study and investigate the role of social media companies in promoting and facilitating violent extremism and domestic terrorism online. So now the state ran, this is a state run around trying to infringe on Section 230. This robust set of new laws designed to provide immediate enhanced protections builds on two executive orders issued in the immediate wake of the Buffalo shooting. That's just a review of the bills that were signed into law today by Governor Kathy Hochul that further infringe on New Yorkers' rights. As always, hit the like button. And like I don't even want to go through the rest of it because this stuff just pisses me off. It really pisses me off. It and I can't wait. And so the Supreme Court didn't issue any opinions today regarding that, but they did stipulate that Wednesday is going to be an opinion issuance day. So I'm expecting something to come down the pike on Wednesday, and whew, I hope they eviscerate New York's gun laws on Wednesday. That'll be a sight to see. Beautiful thing.